Good evening and welcome. I'm Mr. Fixit and I want to put you through how to set up Mikrotik radios, SXT2. I have a couple of them here. And this is basically what I want to achieve. In the customer premises, we are going to, already we've done this, so have a couple of poles or masts at the customer premises. So if you look at here, you're going to see we have one here and we have another mast here. And we have another mast here. Okay, so if you look at the customer building, they have a couple of buildings within their premises, and we need to put Wi-Fi radios in different locations in order to just cover the entire facilities Wi-Fi wise. Okay, so we've purchased this Mikrotik, could have been Ubiquiti or any other vendor, but we've decided to go for Mikrotik. So there is a VLAN that is for wireless, that is Wi-Fi VLAN. That VLAN is on 192.168.5.0 subnet mask /24, and that VLAN is purely for internet access only. Okay, so anything that you are going to set up on this radio, any users or staffs connecting to this Wi-Fi are going to be able to access only the internet. Okay, so I just thought of it that, okay, let me quickly do a demo of how to log in and set up this radio. So I have about 5 of these radios here, and I'll just do a demo on one on how to set it up. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to log into the radio. There is this utility of Mikrotik, Winbox. I've already downloaded and installed it on the system. I've already launched it as well. And there's it here. I'm presently inside one of the radios. That is here. Okay, so let's just do the basic setup of this radio so that we can now go later on and mount it on the mast. Okay, first thing first, I'm going to go to systems. You can even go and check whether to update the firmware of this device, but I'm going to system and I'm going to identity. Okay, so if you look at the top of my screen here, you see that the device is being seen on the network as Mikrotik. So I don't want that to be so. I'm going to change it to AP1. That's the only thing I want to do here. So we are quickly going to create a LAN bridge. Why I want to create a bridge is because these SXT2 radios have only one LAN port. Okay, so if you check out the interfaces, you see that we have ETA1, that is port 1, and also the interface for wireless. Okay, so creating a bridge interface is going to allow me to bundle these two interfaces together and give both of them the same IP address. That's why I want to create a bridge. Okay, so going to bridge and then hit on the plus sign. That is the default name, bridge 1. We can go with the default name. And then select the newly created bridge 1. And then specify which ports should belong to bridge 1. So click on ports and click on the plus sign again. We're adding ETA1, that is port 1, to that bridge. We'll click on plus sign again and then we'll drop down. Wow, sorry. I'm going to lose my connection because the port I'm connected to has been added to a bridge interface. So we're going to log in back to the device. Okay, so once we are back into the device, we're also going to add our wireless interface, that is WLAN1, drop down, WLAN1, and click OK. Okay, so we have these two ports on the same bridge interface, and we're going to give an IP address to this bridge interface, which means that these two ports will share that IP. Okay. You see here that the WLAN1, which is the wireless interface, is disabled. So we have to highlight it and click on this checkbox, this check mark here to enable it. Okay, so now we want to go to IP address configuration, where we can now be able to assign the bridge interface we have created an IP. So go to IP and address, and then click on the plus sign here. Then the IP address here is going to be on the Wi-Fi VLAN subnet, which is 5.0 subnet. So on the DHCP server, I've already excluded 1 to 10. That server shouldn't give out 1 to 10 of that 5.0. Okay, so let's give this 192.168.5.7 and /24 subnet mask, and then we'll select which interface we want to give this IP. You remember that we just added the wireless interface and the LAN interface to bridge 1, so the bridge 1 is what we'll select instead of the individual interfaces. And once we click on apply, and we can just add a comment here. This is LAN subnet. Okay, click the OK, click the OK again. So we are done with IP address configuration on our bridge interface. And what we have not done is setting up the wireless parameters and also letting this radio know how to get to the internet. But because the idea of setting up these radios in the customer's facilities is to ensure that there is Wi-Fi coverage around the facilities, and anybody getting into that Wi-Fi shouldn't be able to access the internal network, but should be able to access the public internet. So we want to quickly, before we set up the wireless, we want to go to IP. We want to create a route telling this radio on how to reach internet. So click on the plus sign. That's going to be any network. Gateway is going to be 192.168.5.1. That is the IP address of our edge LAN router. Okay, we apply and we OK it. And that's what we need to do to let the radio know how to read the internet. Now we'll go to the wireless. So on the wireless interface, online interfaces, double click on the interface. And first of all, we'll go to wireless tab. Okay, so under the wireless tab, we are going to change the mode of this device to AP bridge. That's the mode we need for us to be able to do what we want to do. Okay, and after that, the bands, it should support all the bands for 802.11 wireless. That is the 802.11 BGN. The default SSID is Mikrotik, but you can set it to what is useful in your own environment. In this case, I'm just going to name it test. And then the wireless protocol, we are going to set it to 802.11. And the security profile is what is going to decide what we use as our wireless password. We have not configured it, so we'll leave it at default. And these are the parameters we need to change here. Just hit on the apply button and we'll click on OK. Now here we'll configure our wireless password. Password are people that want to connect to the Wi-Fi will have to enter in their mobile devices or their laptops. So go to security profile tab and you can see we leave it on the default. Now we want to create our own profile. You can name it anything you like, but I'm going to take the default name, which is profile 1. Yes. And then I'm going to use something basic, ABC12345 hash. ABC12345 hash. For now, I'm going to reconfigure this device later and use a very strong password. So I'm going to apply, and click on OK. So if we go back to the wireless adapter interface, and you come down to security profile. Before now, there was no profile created, so we allowed it to use the default. But we just created our own security profile. So select profile 1. Apply the changes. So far, what we've been able to do is first to create a wireless bridge interface, and we have joined our LAN port and our Wi-Fi interface to be members of that bridge interface, and we have given that bridge interface an IP address. Another thing we have done is that we have told the radio how to get to the internet by creating a default route and pointing it to the IP address, that is our default gateway of our LAN edge router. The third thing we did is going to wireless interface and actually going to it wireless and setting up the 802.11 parameters. And last that we need to do is to tell this radio which DNS servers to use. So to do that, we'll go to IP and we'll go to DNS. Now we're going to enter a couple of DNS. We're going to enter a couple of DNS servers. Here I'm just going to use the free DNS servers on the internet. I'm going to use 4.2.2.2 and I'm also going to use 8.8.8.8. And in your own environment, your ISP of course is expected to give you a DNS or a couple of DNS servers. You are going to input whatever you have as DNS servers here. We are going to apply and save it. Okay, so these are the things we need to do to quickly set up this radio, at least the minimum requirements to make the radio have internet access, and everybody connecting to this wireless will have to be able to browse, send mails, and do every other thing that it should be able to do with internet connection. Okay, so you also need to protect your radio. I'm not going to cover it in this tutorial, but otherwise you should have gone to systems and you go to users. This radio comes with username of admin, no password. So you might want to best practice disable the admin account and then click on the plus sign here, create a new user, customize the username, and put a very strong password to protect your radio. So that's what I wanted to show you on how to set up Mikrotik radio, and this particular model is SXT2 Mikrotik radio. For it's an outdoor radio, so it has a little power over Ethernet adapter that is going to help power the radio. So as you are mounting the radio outdoor on a pole or maybe on a mast, you are going to use a Cat6 cable to connect from the radio back to inside your data center to that little PoE power adapter, and then from a second port on that PoE adapter to your LAN switch. So I hope you've benefited from this tutorial. You should be able to extend a Wi-Fi coverage over a university campus or whatever environment you want to cover. You don't necessarily need to be Mikrotik radios. Ubiquity radios can as well do this. So any radio of your choice, you can use it to set up this and also achieve your objective. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.